Lovely. I think we can start. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today at the MIM Spotlight event. So my name's Krisha, that's Ishita. What we will
Hi,
be
guys.
We both are education consultants from OnCourse. We work in the postgraduate field. And today we've got five lovely students who've gone to prestigious schools all across the world joining us. And we're going to learn more about them, about their application process, their experience at university, as well as where they're working right now. They all are professionals in the industry. So would love to hear more from them. I would request y'all if y'all could, starting from Shivangi, Shika, Madhura, Damien, and then Alessandra, introduce yourselves. Just let us know which university y'all went to and what y'all doing currently.
Hey everyone, thanks again for joining. So I'm Shivangi. I'm currently at ESSEC Paris. I'm in my third year this year, which is bizarre to say because but I'm doing my master's in management and I'm also doing an apprenticeship with Estee Lauder as a product marketing business analyst. So yeah, happy to meet you and answer all your questions.
Lovely.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Ishika, and I went to Germany for my master's. So I spent like 3 years there. I did a master's in management course from WHU Otto Beisheim School of Management, and then I did like a few internships at Puma, Henkel, and Reckitt. And I also did like an exchange semester at Audencia in France. And now I've moved back to India and I work in my family business. So I'm happy to share share anything that I could, and if you all have any questions, I can answer them.
Hello, everybody. I'm Madhura. I'm 25, and I just finished my master's in management officially from the business school at Imperial College London, like a week back. So very happy about that. I'm currently interning at a VC firm in London. It's called Sync. And then I'll be joining Accenture as a management consulting analyst in January. So yeah, very happy to be doing this and have to take any questions.
Damien?
Hello everyone, thank you for joining. So my name is Damien, I'm 23. I'm enrolled in HEC Paris as a Master's in Management and currently my M2 studying a Master's with same degree, which is doing the degree of FGV in Sao Paulo. I did 2 internships in finance in Paris, Senegal, and Kenya.
Lovely. And Alessandra?
Hi, everyone. I'm Alessandra. I studied industrial engineering in California and worked full-time in consulting in San Francisco before coming to London Business School for my master's in management. I graduated this past July, and now I'm working at General Mills in London in a supply chain graduate program. Well, thank you for having me, and I'm excited to share a bit about my journey with all of you today.
Lovely. Thank you so much for that introduction, guys. So we're going to start with a couple of questions on the application process. This question goes on to Damien and Madhura. We wanted to know what was the most challenging part about your application process and what, according to you, was the most rewarding.
Okay, so I'll just go first. So I guess for Imperial College, the most, did you say strenuous, the most challenging bit? Right. So I think it was just very long, like it was really long and it felt like a set of repetitive questions. And then you really have to understand how the questions are phrased because they kind of look the same, but they're not really the same. So there are nuances to it. So then you have to really think about it, take a minute, take a walk, and just try to figure out, from your experiences, how best you can answer it because there's not a structure that you can answer it in the best possible way, but it's bespoke to you and to everybody else. You can't just go follow an algorithm and be like, oh, I'm done with my, statements and everything. So definitely it has to come, from your experiences, make it very, different, stand out from the rest of the applications. So I think that was a bit challenging. The most rewarding was kind of, going through all the list of my accomplishments and thinking, oh, wait a minute, I did that, so just going kind of like that, and then, kind of getting the facts reinforced that I achieved all of these things, and then, that sometimes you just need a reminder that can achieve great things in life. And yeah, so that was, I think, rewarding. And but I would say at the end of the day, every application is very, bespoke to you, and you should, like delve into your experiences when you, form your, application statements and stuff like that. So yeah.
I love that, Madhura, and super relatable. Damien, over to you. Anything you would like to share?
Yeah, of course. So just for context, so I applied at both HSC and ESSEC, and I think it's the same for all MM programs. Is when you apply somewhere, you have to really have a coherent story about what you did, what you're doing right now, why the MIM fits in this, and what you want to do later on. I think the part, what you want to do later on, is the most challenging part for me. Like, it took some time. I waited for 3 months to apply because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do later on. I had to reach out to many people in the industry, talk to them, how was their work, what it was like, what does a career in this industry looks like. And then at the end of the day, when I was really sure about what I wanted to do and how MIM program would help me achieve this, I applied. So this was a changing part, because just asking yourself what you want to do later on, when there's so many good options, you feel like you put in yourself in a box and you can't get out of it. But it's also the most rewarding part, because when you're sure about what you want to do later on and you start to taking steps towards this goal, it's really satisfying. And when you land your first internships in the industry and get some positive answers from the employers, it's really great.
That's
wonderful.
I think goal setting is one of the most important parts of application anyway. So yeah, Ishita, over to you.
Thank you so much for that, Damien. And I think that was a very important insight about goals, because I think that helps you make the choice of the school as well, which is exactly my next question for Shivangi and Ishika. How did you all actually shortlist your schools? And more importantly, what helped you make the final choice?
Okay, I'll go. Okay, or Ishika, you want to go first?
No, you can start.
Okay. So for me, and honestly, the answer is gonna be very similar to all of you. It was rankings. So I started with QS and FT rankings. Second, I also looked for brand equity, in the sense that if that was a well-recognized school across the globe, not just in a particular area, not just, in the course that I wanted to do, which was MIM, but MIM also kind of, for me it developed, because I was initially actually looking for masters, but more specific in business analytics. But then when I was, researching about schools, I found out that I wanted it to be more general and become specific later on, as the years developed and as I kind of got to know the courses more. So that was also one of the things that I was looking in a business school, that it helped me, kind of funnel down to a specific course or a specific track that I wanted to take. So those were some of the parameters. Then, of course, the placements, the brands that they have worked with, the companies they have partnerships with, what kind of network they had, because this is all very important. And especially as somebody who is coming from India, we are not really taught to network there. We have campus placements, and in once you move abroad, you need to know that a network is very important to rely on. And if your school, even though it might have one of the best names, if it doesn't have a well connected and well involved alumni network, it will be useless if you cannot, convert. So those were some of the parameters that I was looking for while, shortlisting the school.
That's extremely helpful. I think that, and you've put out very important points, I think, that all students should keep in mind while looking for schools. Over to you, Ishika. Anything that you'd like to add over here?
So for me, basically, I was sure that I wanted to do MIM. So I was a fresher when I started my applications. So on the year when I finished my bachelor's, I started my master's. So, for MBA, you usually require like a work experience, but for MIM, it's for freshers. So I wanted to do MIM. I was sure about that. And then while researching, I saw that it was mostly famous in Europe. So then I also saw like a few colleges in London, but for me, I thought it was not the best choice because usually the courses there were for like 10 months. So I just thought by the time I would go, it would be time, like the course would be over. So then I was confused between Germany and France. And in Germany, the of course I went by ranking. So this was the university I wanted to go to, and also like seeing that there would be no language barrier. It was like a private school, so everything was in English. And like the curriculum was the most important thing that dragged me towards this university, because it was like a 21 months course, and it also involved like a exchange semester, a mandatory internship, and like the curriculum and the course in the home university. So I just thought by the end of the like the curriculum itself, I would have a lot of experience. And like even in my 20, like I think in the last 3 years, I lived in like 6 cities in Germany. So I think it was like a very great choice and like a good exposure in general. And like I was sure that I wanted to move back to India.
Mhm.
So it was a good like exposure in general.
That's
Thank
great. That's
you.
great.
Okay, so a couple of before we get into the other application processes, I see that our participants are eager to know two things. One is what is your GMAT GRE score, and number two is if any of y'all were lucky enough to get a scholarship. If y'all could quickly let us know that, and then we could go to the next question. That's for Alessandra. So
Um,
maybe, yeah, Ishika, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yes. So I gave GRE and my score was 324.
Wow,
And I got a scholarship of 25%.
lovely.
fab,
That's great.
fabulous.
Anyone
Anyone
to share?
else?
Okay, I'll go. So
Yeah,
I took the GMAT when it was still the old version,
yeah.
and I scored a 710, and
Wonderful.
I didn't. Yeah, but I did not get a scholarship. I wasn't lucky enough because London schools are very famously stingy about scholarships. So it's
Yeah.
something to keep in mind for people who want to, who aspire to go to London business schools. London business schools, not London business schools. Sorry, just clearing that up.
That's
For
lovely.
Great.
me, score was like very similar. It was the GRE was 325, GMAT 710. I gave both just to have an option of, if any school was particular. So I was like, why not? And yes, even Paris is stingy with their scholarships, so I did not get one. But I got an apprenticeship, so honestly, no harm, no foul.
Worked
So
out.
yeah.
Lovely.
Great.
Mm. And on my side, I did the GMAT. Sorry, I did the GMAT old version, and I got a 740, and I got excellence scholarship at HEC for 30% of the tuition.
Oh,
That's
love.
fabulous. That's great, Damien.
And Alessandra,
Um, I don't remember from the top of my head, but I believe it was for the GRE, I think it was like a 320, 325 score.
Wonderful.
And regarding scholarships, yes, I did get one. It was almost 50%. So very
wow.
lucky.
Fabulous.
Yeah. I know we're gonna move on into that topic, but the earlier the better to apply. That's my
Yeah,
recommendation. Yeah.
yeah.
Lovely. So just one suggestion for everyone who's watching based on scholarships, as Alessandra said, and if anyone has tips, please do add that. The earlier you apply, the better. Merit-based scholarships are very, very dependent on your grades and your work experience. So the stronger profile you have, the better. And number three, as Madhura pointed out, is a scholarship is also very dependent on the geography you're applying for. Some geographies are more stringent than those that are not. So that's also something to consider. And they do view your profile holistically, right? So it's not just grades, they also see your work ex, your extracurricular activities, all of that. And I'm guessing with everyone's reaction, it is something that you realize once you're a student also, right? And you interact with the admissions teams, the teachers, you'll understand that they do view you holistically, and you do understand that they have seen standout parts in your profile. Um, Coming to a holistic application and profile, Alessandra, I had a question for you. Given we know how, I would say, strenuous the LBS application process as well as interviews are, is given a time where AI is so prevalent, how do you think the interviews really helped you stand out, and how did you prep for them?
Do you mean for the specifically to apply to LBS for the MIM or more like work experience?
For the masters in management.
For the masters.
Okay, yeah. Well, for me, the only interview I had was besides the essays and all the application and the GRE score and everything, was with an alumnus. He is based in. They try to match you with someone that it's either in the same country as you, same time zone, kind of like similar experience than you, and he was based in LA. I was living in San Francisco. So he's American, he returned. So we had the same time zone that helped. And of course, after they sent me his name, I researched him like LinkedIn, kind of stalked him a little bit so I can see. That's what helps, right? As soon as you know your interviewer, like kind of like try to see his profile, either like the alumnus profile or LinkedIn, and see like any matches, anything like topics of like different conversations you can bring up. Because don't be nervous, like they're gonna ask questions about yourself. So just like share your story, be as authentic as you can. Of course, because of you've done all the application and the essays, you already know a lot about the uni that you're applying to. So, but just having like on your notes, like why are you choosing the program? Well, the MIM, why are you choosing that university? Why on this time of exactly at this time in your life? Why in this stage? Those main three I'll say, and also where would you see yourselves in the future after the program? Those main four. But yeah, not knowing a little bit about the uni and the interviewer, like it's gonna like take you places. So like that's my biggest recommendation.
That's
It's,
lovely.
I think,
That's perfect. Yeah, Shita, sorry, go for it.
no, I think that's a very interesting and very important, I think, across universities, because whichever college does interview you, I think that is the make or break ultimately. And I think what Alessandra just said, it's very important to research the interviewer. And that's one thing that we would also recommend as consultants, that please research your interviewers so that you can actually contextualize your responses to them. Which takes us to the next part or the next segment of our questions, which is your experiences. We've discussed the process. We'd really, really like to know your experience at the universities. So, my first question, and this one is for all of you, is each of you, can you give us 2 reasons why you would recommend everyone should have this experience of doing their master's at a university like yourself? So, let's go with Damien first.
For me, like the main reasons I chose it. So I'm not convinced that it's the only path to choose an MIM program. I did engineering before, and I think I could have achieved the same things at this time with a master's in engineering. But it's for sure it helps you a lot to have an MIM program if you want to work in business. So first is like a clear foot in the door when you have a big brand name. It really helps you out to land interviews and to reach out to people that can help you out with the process, etc. The second main reason, I think we don't talk a lot about it, is ambition. When you are in a really strong program like the MIM in those universities, people around you all want to do great things. They achieve great things and really pushes you to have a higher standard of what you want for your career. So I think this is really great.
Lovely. Whoever wants to go next, Shivangi.
So honestly, at ESSEC, the curriculum itself is so diverse in the sense that we have chairs, we have tracks, we have so many kind of specialization. So somebody who's still kind of figuring things out, I think MIM at ESSEC is a really good choice because you have so many times to pivot. Like if you can try your hand at finance, you can try your hand at marketing, you can try your hand at digital digital disruption. So basically you have choices, which again, as an Indian, is something we don't really have. So coming from that to this, it's really refreshing. It gives you opportunities to work with so many companies, and you will get very hands-on experience, which is something also that, when I compare it to my undergrad and to my master's now, is something that I think was sorely lacking. I was also an engineer back in India. I did my engineering in electrical and electronics. But here, then the pivot helped me kind of experiment with things and figured out what kind of niche that I wanted to get into. So I think that experience for self is worth considering at my risk. I
Fabulous.
mean, I can
Ishika?
also mention one part of it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
please, please.
there is
We
a lot
really
of
need the fun. And we really need the fun aspects of it. Please tell us.
I mean, uh, this is something that I will only talk about in France or like Paris in general because I know about the business schools here more. But there's a lot of fun here in the sense that most of the business schools, and especially in France in general, because they really value personal lives and they really value the balance between work and life. Like, so you will have so many parties, you will have so much things to do. Your life is not restricted to just courses, job hunt, internship, or apprenticeship. It is so much more, and you will have that aspiration to want so much more. So this is something very personal, but this is also one of the reasons that I would, encourage you to kind of think about a master's abroad.
Fabulous. And I think that motivation really makes a lot of difference when you have that kind of cohort with you. Ishika?
So, there are many reasons that why you should definitely go abroad. Because, like for me, I think the first, most important reason would be like my personal growth. So, like I believe, like just living abroad, it just pushed me to come out of my comfort zone, like living alone, adapting to like new cultures, and like even like just settling in like new cities. And second, I would say like a global exposure. So like being in like an international environment where like your classmates are from like different parts of the world, like, and then you have the opportunity to do like internships in global companies, having exchange semesters, living in different countries. So like overall, I feel there's a lot of change, like a personal change in yourself when you get to do all of this. And like for me, the most I feel like the most fun aspect was traveling. So since I was in Europe, it was so easy to travel. Like, like over here, you have to plan so much, but over there, just for a weekend, I can just go to another country. And I feel that also was a very good experience for me.
Great. Fabulous. I think, yeah, the travel is very interesting. It's so much more convenient and there's so much to explore over there given the weekends and so, given the connectivity. Madhura.
Right. So I think my first reason would be that it kind of makes you unbreakable, not just in the sense of the curriculum, which is already so vigorous. And obviously, as someone pointed out, it's so hands-on that you kind of, develop skills through learning in real time. You get to meet, industry experts on, like through webinars or, the sessions, the career events, talks and stuff. And then you just, give so many presentations that after one point, your stage fright is just gone. So then, that kind of builds you up. That's the curriculum aspect of it. And then obviously, if you live in a country that's that you are not, like you went to that country of your own accord. You have to like, figure out very, like basic stuff. How do you grocery shop in, that country? How do you travel from one place to another? For me, it was figuring out the tube lines, which line goes where, which color tube goes where. So it was amazing, don't get me wrong, but it was very strenuous to figure it out which one goes where. It's very confusing at first, but then, now I can proudly say, I can direct somebody if they want to go from one place to another. So that's one thing. It makes you kind of unbreakable, So that's one thing. And then the other thing is you get to meet so many different people from so many different parts of the world. And these are, you make so many connections, so many, new friends from different parts of the world. And it stays with you because even now that we are done with our course, we are still in touch with each other. And of course, you go out to, celebrate milestones and stuff. For example, when, you're done with your fall semester examinations, you go out, celebrate with each other. So the people aspect is also wonderful. And I'm pretty sure there's also a very big winter ball party that happens in the Natural History Museum that is part of this university that I'm not highlighting because there are so many other fun stuff, so much other fun stuff that happens as well. But yeah, everything included, I think. Yeah, I would definitely recommend checking this university out. So yeah, I would not
Fabulous,
say you to do
fabulous.
it.
No, but fabulous. You seem like you were happy. You seem like you had a very good time, and I think that's so important for your overall growth as well. Finally, Alessandra, tell us about your time at LBS and why you would recommend it.
Yeah, so as Madura, like she was an imperial. Well, one of the reasons, my main reason was because I really wanted to move to London. I remember the first time I visited some couple of years ago. And then I just like went to different unis, both Imperial, King's, Salesi, and so many more, and LBS, of course. And so that's very important to, if you have the possibility, or even attending online events, just kind of like interacting with just faculty, no, not faculty, sorry, the admissions people and alumnus and alumni in general through LinkedIn. But you get a sense of the community by doing that, And when of course, I got the chance to tour the uni, but even just by conversations, you kind of have a feeling of the kind of people you're going to be working in for like 1 year or 2 years. So that kind of like your gut feeling. That's why I was like, okay, this kind of aligns with who I am and what I'm looking for. Of course, as many of my peers have mentioned, like it's like an intern, you get to travel Europe, with some international cohort, top tier faculty. It's one of the main reasons, but like also kind of like look even like deeper, like for your curriculum, like what all the classes that you're gonna be taking. It's maybe similar in all unis, right? But also, for me, one of the main reasons why it was electives. I knew I had to take finance and accounting and all that stuff, but then towards the end of the MIM, you get to choose the electives you want to take. So make sure that, okay, I think one of the questions is why from engineering to management, why would you like to pivot to that field? For me, it was because I'm very interested in entrepreneurship and operations and marketing. So I wanted to learn more about that. So make sure that the electives that you can take are like, oh, yeah, this class sounds fun, and this class as well, and comparing and like contrasting with like different unis. One of also the main reasons why was the global experience that LBS offers. So for from January to May, there's like 3 or 4 different stages in which students can go to like abroad. The one I chose was going to Vietnam and learning about that emerging market. So was fascinating for me. First time in Asia, learning from a culture so different but so similar to mine. I'm from Peru. An emerging market, has like alumni living there and everything. And so other of my peers went to Austin, Texas, I don't know, Stockholm, and so many more. So just make sure that the classes you're going to be taking are something that sparks an interest in you. And other reason, I'll say student clubs. I was able to be part of like Impact Consulting Club, LATAM, it's Latin American, Women in Business. So something that you can see yourself being part of, and like yeah, those were my main reasons mostly.
Lovely.
Fabulous. Lovely.
Super helpful. So now, since we have briefly, I think all of y'all summed up your experience so well about how y'all balance, like, extracurricular activities, academics, everything. We just want to get into a bit of, like, next steps. How did you plan your future? And then we'll get into like audience questions. Is particularly all of your colleges have career fairs, info sessions, like, student panels. So, how did you all make the most out of these sessions, and were they useful in networking or getting any kind of job? Or maybe two of y'all, whoever is willing to, would y'all be able to share your experience with us?
I think I can speak
Yeah,
to
Madhu.
I think I can speak to my internship that I'm currently doing right now. So networking, yes, it definitely helps. And I, I mean, the reason that they host these career fairs in the first place is so that everybody can, get to know each other, because they are not really, I mean, obviously it's not, career fairs are not meant to be handing out jobs to you. It's more to gauge the kind of people that they are, and then you get a sense of how the people are going to be, how the work culture is going to be in that particular. And obviously, it's not just firms that are very recognizable. It's also startups, so it's very important, and it's very helpful for people who want to specifically work at a startup, because a lot of people prefer that. And yeah, networking is definitely very, very helpful. You approach them and you just, like get their LinkedIn information down, and then you reach out for like, a coffee chat, and then you connect over a coffee, a bagel, whatever. You can just lunch if you make really good friends with them. So it really depends on you. But the closer you can get to them professionally, of course, uh, the the more helpful it is for you to be able to get that. They can recommend you. They can give you like a way to figure out how you can excel at an interview. They can get you an in with the interviewers, especially for startups. And the internship that I'm currently doing, I sort of got it that way because I was really good friends with one of the girls that also went to Imperial, and we went for lunch, and I just happened to mention that I'm free for 3 to 4 months before I begin my full-time job, and she was like, oh, so would you like an internship position at for like sales and marketing? We're launching a new fellowship program. We'd love for you to come on board, and that's how that happened. So it's when you least expect it, and definitely do not sleep on networking. It's very, very helpful. Yeah.
Lovely. That was great insights, Madhura. Anyone else who'd like to take this on?
Yes, so like I feel like networking and career fairs genuinely help because but only if you approach them the right way. Like career fairs are great way to meet companies directly, but I think the main or the real value that comes is when you follow up after the networking event, probably by sending like a tailored message through LinkedIn or something like that. And like reaching out to alumni really helps. It really helped me land into one of my internships. So I think it does help.
Lovely. Thank you so much. And one more thing that I would like to ask the panel, and specifically for students like, Shivangi, Damien, and Ishika, is that while looking for career opportunities, given that y'all were like, studying in different countries where language could be a barrier, did that present to be a barrier while interacting with recruiters, or were you all fine?
So for me, for sure, like knowing French would make life so much easier living in France, for sure. But that doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities, especially like in English. But again, those are very far and few, and they are highly, highly, highly competitive because everybody's basically vying for the same thing. So that is something that you need to keep in mind, that if you are willingly choosing to, move to another country, you need to put in the effort to learn the language.
Perfect. I think I completely agree. Since we do have limited time left, I would quickly like to go across the board for students who are applying to these schools, right? And given that y'all are now at these schools or have graduated from these schools, uh, just the key application tips that you would give, that you have maybe mentored other students with, that this is what y'all must application. Um, Damien, let's start with you this, and then Alessandra, and then we can, yeah.
So, as I mentioned, for me, the most important part is just you have to be really sure about what you want to do later on and how the program fits in all this. I think it's really the most important by far. The GMAT score or GPA are not as relevant as this. And so you really take the time. I've seen a lot in the questions. People are asking for round 1 or round 2, which is better to apply. Personally, I applied in round 5, which is not official, but it appears in July for SSA. It didn't change at all my chances, and I've seen this across my cohort. It doesn't really change when you apply. So really take the time to have strong application, to be really sure what you want to do before applying. It's really like, it's not worth it to apply fast in October or January and not be ready for it.
Fully agree. Alessandra?
I'll say, well, besides just like networking and getting to know the community and of the, you're applying to, um, yes, as Damien said, like I was so worried because I only took the DRE once. It's very average, my score, not like, but at the end of the day, they do really look at like your holistic application. Like just make sure that you're take if you can, like any certifications, and you're making the most out of the current job, or like applying to this internship, looking ahead. Also, like if you're like networking with like alumni and then alumnus, and then like ask them like if they can even review your essay, like if that's a possibility, or like if they have the time. You're maybe they'll say no, but you don't lose anything, right? Because they've already been through that process. Or just a friend or a peer that can help you out. Like me, for instance, I was helping out some of my friends applying to other unis, and I'm happy to, because I other programs even. But and even if you cannot be like it cannot be proofread, like just be authentic. Sometimes like they say like, oh, you're speaking like a lot from your emotions, not like as very professional, but like it's who you are, and if it's for you, they're gonna accept you, and like be very like hopeful that it's gonna happen. But then other advice, well, that's mostly it, like coffee chats, network. Don't worry too much about those scores and demographics and stuff. In the sense that, oh, this profile is gonna be accepted or not, just trust and like apply and go for it. But yeah, like resources like this helps because you get to know from actually student experiences. So join as many as you can, and yeah, good luck.
Lovely, Alessandra. Thank you so much, Madhura.
Right. So I think my one advice or tip would be to make your application stand out. Put in all your little tiny quirks that you have. For example, if you've ever babysat for somebody, or developed a hobby out of volunteering at pet shelters or animal shelters, put that in your essays. Make yourself stand out. I still remember I started my first essay saying I love Ratatouille, the animated movie. So I think you have to put in all your, quirks, and then I kind of compared myself to Remy, the rat. So, you have to like make your essay structure essay in a way that it, stands out from the rest of the pile, because everybody's going to mention, their achievements. It always comes down to that. It's just how much you can make the panel who are actually shortlisting your application laugh, make them remember you, so that when they leave for lunch to take, a break, they'll still be talking about your application. Oh, this one application landed on our table this morning, and that application was very funny. And I think, we'll remember that. And then again, as Alessandra pointed out, if it doesn't go through, if your application actually does not get shortlisted at the end of the day, it's not the end of the day. Trust me, it'll feel like the end of the day right now if you get a rejection. But after a year, when you're, done with your school, it just will not matter. So if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Just trust in the process, and just, put in your authentic self in your essays. Yeah, that's it.
I absolutely love that, Madhura. Ishika?
So firstly, I would say if you're going to like a country which has language barrier, you should start learning the language early, like even A1 helps. Second, I would say like marks don't define you, like you should show like a overall profile, show the competitions you participated in, the projects you made, or like your internships, etc. And thirdly, I would say like don't copy paste essays. You should show your personal motivation, why this school and why you. And lastly, I would say like if possible, apply early, because like for rolling admissions, it means that earlier you apply, you have more and better chances.
Fab, completely agree, Ishika. I think that was super helpful. And Shivangi?
I think everyone pretty much covered everything, but I do second what Madhura said, that at the end of the day, if you do get rejections, don't take it on heart. You will end up where you should have ended up. Um,
Absolutely.
in fact, for me, like a couple of my applications didn't work out. I was in a really dark spot for a week, and honestly, I couldn't have imagined a better school for me than the one that I'm at. Another thing that I will mention is do your research, which a lot of people don't, especially with AI agents and everything right now. People just, be very generic. When I say research, go into the website, learn about the school motto, learn about what makes the student body, what kind of associations they have, what kind of chairs, tracks, any specialization that they have, and then mention them in your essays, because that shows that you actually went out and did your research. Otherwise, it's just another application in a like and literally thousands and thousands of applications.
Fab, I think that was super helpful, Shivangi, and completely agree. Like, research is a key to actually showing the universities that you are actually interested in them, and that's how they'll show interest in you. Um, but it was a lovely panel, guys. Thank you for giving us your time. It was lovely to hear about all of your experiences. I hope the people listening had good takeaways. Hope it's going to be helpful in their journey. For the viewers listening, in case y'all have any questions, feel free to contact Ishita or me over LinkedIn or through our, contacts on GMAT Club. We are more than happy to help you with your applications. And all the best to you guys. Y'all are doing fab things, and more luck and best wishes to you all. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, guys. It was wonderful meeting all five of you all. Thank you. It was truly a privilege to meet all of you. All the best, and like more power to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.